We navigate modern life assuming every turn is a cliff edge, treating every single choice and minor setback as a make or break catastrophe. Assigning equal weight to every outcome creates cognitive gridlock. Treating scheduling conflicts like career pivots obscures any real sense of purpose. You see this when people agonizingly replay a bad test score, dissect a single awkward moment in a failed job interview, or let a disastrous snowy road trip to Vegas convince them that their entire life is falling apart. During his Stanford 2026 commencement address, Google CEO Sundar Pichai offered a counterintuitive thesis for this exact problem. He argued that most moments in life only seem big. Success relies on identifying the very few decisions that actually are. Surviving a high-noise environment requires you to abandon the impossible task of managing every outcome. You have to stop stressing over everything and adopt a strict cognitive filtration system to isolate the choices that actually matter. Before you can choose a path, you have to control how your options are perceived. This requires applying the first filter, optimism. You cannot control the macroeconomic conditions, the job market, or the global crises you graduate into, but you retain absolute, definitive control over your perceptual framing of those conditions. Pichai shared a story about Mrs. Jane Earl to illustrate this. Where most people looked at California's dry, dead summer grass and saw barren brown hills, she deliberately framed them as golden hills. This kind of framing functions as a mechanical filter. It actively exposes viable opportunities that a pessimistic baseline automatically deletes from your field of view. Optimism in this framework is not a naive emotional state. It is a required tactical instrument used to gather the raw materials necessary to build a purposeful life. Once those opportunities become visible, a new dilemma emerges. Human nature automatically pulls us toward the path of least resistance. This is where you apply the second filter, hard things. Picking high-friction problems is advantageous because those problems naturally have less competition. When Pichai pushed to build Google Chrome, he faced massive internal corporate resistance. But prioritizing that hard work automatically eliminated meaningless distractions and forced focus onto a meaningful opportunity. But what happens when you apply this filter and are still left with multiple hard, high-value paths? Traditional metrics offer terrible guidance here. Societal status and salary benchmarks fail to provide accurate long-term direction when you are navigating complex, high-friction choices. You need the third filter, excitement. Excitement is not a fleeting feeling. It is hard neurological data, signaling that a path aligns with your true purpose. Pichai abandoned a highly stable, prestigious PhD path to enter the workforce, enduring a decade of ambiguity and struggle before finding his specific direction. He let his internal excitement override external status. The true signal only appears when you reject societal metrics of ease and prestige and instead choose deliberate friction paired with genuine personal excitement. When you look at a singular path that successfully passes through all three of these cognitive filters, the results clarify the method. Consider the extreme baseline conditions of Pichai's own journey. He was a first-generation immigrant whose father sacrificed an entire year's salary just to buy him a single plane ticket to Stanford. Applying the filters to those humble, high-friction beginnings eventually led him to the position of CEO at Google, validating the mechanics of the entire framework. And reaching that outcome did not require micromanaging every single setback. Past chaotic anomalies, like seeing his first snowfall during a messy road trip to Vegas, were just harmless data points. The world didn't end. Stop stressing over the illusion of make-or-break moments. Aggressively apply the filters to cut the noise and find your own signal. As Pichai directed the Stanford graduates, set your heart ablaze. A purposeful life isn't built through exhaustive perfectionism. It is born from the aggressive filtration of noise.